Valve clearance inspection and adjustment. Valve clearance inspection and adjustment. Valve clearance inspection and adjustment can be done by following the steps shown in the shop manual. However, by planning out the procedures in advance, the time required for inspection and adjustment can be shortened. First, remove the cylinder head cover. This is a 4-cylinder engine. Normally, the first step in valve clearance adjustment is to set the number 1 piston at the top dead center TDC position of its compression stroke. At this position, both the intake valve and exhaust valve of the number 1 cylinder are closed, while the next valve, which is the exhaust valve of the number 2 cylinder, is in the opened position. There are other closed valves at this point. They are the intake valve of the number 2 cylinder and the exhaust valve of the number 3 cylinder. Let's look at this diagram. The white circles indicate valves that are closed at the same time. So these valves can be adjusted at the same time as the number 1 cylinder valves are being adjusted. In this diagram, the valves shown in black are closed when the number 4 piston is at the top dead center position of its compression stroke. Therefore, all of these valves can be adjusted at the same time. As a result, you only need to set 2 pistons at TDC positions of their respective compression strokes to adjust all the valves. For a 5-cylinder engine, you need to set 3 pistons at their respective TDC positions of compression strokes. The first diagram shows all the valves that can be adjusted when the number 1 piston is at the TDC position of its compression stroke. The next diagram is when the number 2 piston is at the TDC position of its compression stroke. The third diagram shows all the valves that can be adjusted when the number 4 piston is at the TDC position. As you can see, all the valves of a 5-cylinder engine can be adjusted by setting number 1, number 2, and number 4 pistons at their respective TDC positions of their compression strokes. For a 6-cylinder engine, you only need to set 2 pistons at their TDC positions. This diagram shows all the valves that can be adjusted when the number 1 piston is set at the TDC position on its compression stroke. The next diagram shows the same for number 5 piston at the TDC. As you can see, you only need to set the number 1 and number 5 pistons at the TDC positions of their respective compression strokes to adjust all the valves on a 6-cylinder engine.